Hi, everyone. My name is Randy. I am 30 years old. I'll be 31 on Saturday. Um, Married. I have a 3-year-old son named Bruce. I'm recording this to share my journey with others. This is a very sensitive subject, so please be kind. I'll answer any questions. I'll share as much with you as I possibly can. But seriously, please be kind. No rude comments. On October 10th, my 2-year wedding anniversary, I was diagnosed with invasive ductal carcinoma, breast cancer. So let me just go back and tell you how I discovered the lump and just kind of the chain of events that had happened. So back in May, the beginning of May, I woke up with a really, really, really bad migraine. Never had one before. It was the worst pain I had ever felt. I ended up going to the ER because of it, because I was physically sick over it. They treated me at the ER. I was never admitted. I got to go home later on that day. About, I don't know, a day after, maybe 2 days after coming home, I had felt in the morning, I had felt this massive lump right here. And it appeared overnight. Like it was never small. It didn't steadily grow. It just literally popped up over the night. So my first thought was, okay, I was sick. Maybe it's a lymph node. I called my doctors. Well, first I went to school because I'm a nursing student. And I went to school and I talked to my instructor and I asked her, and she was like, get it checked out, So I had called my doctor's office and explained to them the situation. They said it was probably a swollen, a lymph node, and to wait for a few weeks and see if there's any changes just to monitor it. Okay. So I waited about 2 to 3 weeks. No changes. It didn't go away. It didn't get smaller. It didn't get bigger. Nothing at all. So I called back and I said, hey, it hasn't even moved. It hasn't gone away. Nothing's happening. What do we do? They scheduled me an appointment about 2 weeks out from that phone call. And I came in and the doctor had felt it. And he was like, oh, maybe, I think it's just a cyst. I was like, okay, but I'm not really like, no, I don't think it is. I was very concerned. So he ended up getting me a mammogram on it. And the issue was that the mammogram place kept canceling my appointment. Cancel. Reschedule. Doctor's not in. This isn't available. Blah, blah, blah. It was literally like 5 times. And then each time that they canceled, it was like I had to wait 2 more weeks for the new appointment. So finally, I was getting angry. And I told them, like, I am concerned and I need this checked out. So they ended up getting me in within just a couple days, and they did not cancel. So I had a mammogram and I had an ultrasound. The radiologist said that I have several lumps now, but he said that all of them look well defined. They all look like just cysts. They don't have any rough ridges or edges, and he didn't seem to be concerned. So I was like, okay, that sounds good. So then a couple days later after that, I got a letter in the mail saying there was an abnormal finding. And I'm like, oh, why is the, I just talked to the radiologist and he said, it all looks good. It all looks fine. So I don't understand what this letter is. And I was starting to freak out. So then I called the doctor who had ordered the mammogram, and he said that they want to do a biopsy on this big one on my left breast. And I was like, okay, all right. So I went in a couple weeks later and I had the biopsy done on the big one on my left breast, and then I have another smaller one on the side of my left breast. Um, that was on October 9th that I had the biopsy done. On October 10th, I am at clinical for school. And I get a phone call, and I see that the phone number is from my doctor's office. And I'm like, oh, I'm just going to answer it because I did just have this done, so let me just see. So I step outside and I answer it, and it is my doctor himself. And I was immediately kind of shooken up, because when does a doctor himself call you, really, if there's only a serious concern? And he said, Randy, I got your results back on the biopsy. The smaller, nodule on the left breast that's on the side, that's just a fibroadenoma. We'll just keep an eye on it. They come and go. And he said, but the large one at the 12 o'clock point on your left breast, it's breast cancer. And that's what he said. And then after that, I remember him saying, I know you're not hearing this right now, which I wasn't. I was in tears. I was absolutely broken, because here it is, my wedding anniversary. I was very excited to go out to dinner, have a nice night. I'm only 30 years old. Never, ever did I at any point think, oh my God, I could have breast cancer. Never did I think that. So that was the call that I got. I told my instructor, I told my class, because I'm also the class president of my nursing program. So this is all kind of crazy. So let's see. So I called and told my husband. I think he was in shock. I told everybody. After that, later on in the day, I called back my doctor's office, once I had pulled myself together, and I spoke with the nurse, and she set me up with a breast navigator at the cancer center, and gave me her number. And so I ended up calling the breast navigator, and she walked me through some things, and told me that I would have to have a CAT scan, or I'm sorry, an MRI. So we scheduled the MRI 2 weeks after, talking to her. It was about 2 weeks after talking to her. So now I am, let's see, I found out in May, probably like May, I found this in like May 13th, somewhere around there. It is now October 23rd. So we're several months out that I've had this. That's a really long time to wait. A very long time, especially for invasive ductal carcinoma. So an invasive ductal carcinoma, that is a very fast growing, fast moving, aggressive type of cancer cell. But we'll get more into that in just a minute. So I had the MRI. My doctor got the results of the MRI. There are a few areas on my right breast that now they want to do a biopsy on, just because there's, some concerning areas. There's two. And then on my left lymph node up in my underarm, my axilla. So hopefully it hasn't gone to my lymph node, but we'll see. We'll get those results. I haven't had the biopsy yet. I should be getting them done this week. So after my MRI, I found out that I have, it's called triple negative breast cancer. So triple negative just means that it's not caused by hormones. I'm lacking those hormones in my breast, so it's the estrogen, progesterone, and HER2, and I don't have all of those are negative for me. Um, so I am required to have chemo. I do have to have chemotherapy. I will also have to have a double mastectomy. And after I have those two treatments, then we'll do some more testing and see if I need to have radiation. Overall, I'm looking at a year's length of treatment. Chemo, I'll be on chemo for 5 or 6 months. Um, and then I'll do the mastectomy, and I'm going to do reconstruction. I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to be doing those at the exact same time, or exactly how that's going to work yet. Um, so anyway, I went to my very first oncology appointment on Friday, the 20th of October, and I can't even believe I walked out there with a smile on my face because I was very scared. I was very nervous. I thought I'd be crying the whole time, but the doctors there were so amazing and so positive, and they just really made myself and my husband feel good, feel confident that, you know what, we're gonna beat this. Like, we're gonna kick the crap out of this cancer. So they work very close with Moffitt. That was going to be someplace we wanted to go, someplace we do want to go. We just are having some insurance issues, of course. But I spoke with, let's see, first I spoke with a surgeon. She has very close connections with some amazing people, some amazing plastic surgeons that she said, you'll get your reconstruction and you won't even be able to tell. So, and that's important to me because I am only 30 years old, and still I want to feel like a woman, and I don't want it to look bad. I mean, honestly, that's being completely honest. So, um, she said that we will do the chemo first to shrink the tumor, because the tumor, it's up, it's up really high. It's right here. So it's not even like it's on my actual breast. It's up very high. Um, so we want to shrink that down first with the chemo. That way it'll be easier procedure. I mean, I don't want to say an easier procedure, but it will be easier to get everything, all of it out, instead of coming all the way up here for it. So anyway, so she was amazing. So, so nice. And then I met with the the radiologist. He came in and I was like, oh my gosh, this guy is so young. He looked like Doogie Howser. He was so young. So, but he came in not even knowing if I would need radiation. He knew my story. He had already reviewed my chart. He was super confident, in treating me. And if I did need radiation, I wouldn't need it for like 8 months down the road. But just the fact that he knew me and knew what I was, knew about what I was going through, it just gave me a lot of confidence in him. Because most doctors don't know your case until the day that they see you, to treat you. So the last doctor that I saw the same day was the oncologist, and she came from Moffitt. She worked at Moffitt for 12 years. Um, she pretty much just said, we're going to come at you with everything. Beside this cancer, you are totally healthy. You have no other issues. You can handle a lot because you're young. So if there is a possibility of there being a let's see, like a negative or a positive with a treatment, just because there's that little possibility of there being a positive, we're going to give it to you. So they're pretty much going to throw everything at me. And she said that the type of breast cancer that I have is very responsive to chemo. So the chemo will kills it very easily. So that's really good news. I was very happy to hear that because I don't want this, obviously. So it was, that day was just full of crazy emotions. I am 8 weeks away from graduating nursing school. And unfortunately, because of this, because of what is happening to me, I had to take a leave. I had to take a medical leave because it was either go through chemo on a Friday and be sick over the weekend when I have my son, or it was go through chemo at the beginning of the week and be sick when I go through school. My son comes before anything. So I would rather, do the chemo at the beginning of the week and have that weekend to spend time with my son. Plus, with the amount of doctor's appointments that I have, and just chemo, like I've heard about chemo brain, just very forgetful. There's just so much going on, and nursing school is stressful. And I cannot do nursing school and chemo and have a son and be a wife and do everything else. So I'm just pushing the nursing school off. I'm very sad. Like, trust me, I am sad. That is 8 weeks away, and being the class president, it was a very hard decision to make, but I do feel that it was the right decision to make. Also, because I will need rides to and from my chemo and to and from certain appointments because of the procedure that I'll be having. My husband has to take a family medical leave of absence also. So, so times are really tough right now. Emotionally, physically, financially, is very tough. For those of you who have asked, I do have a GoFundMe. I'm going to have the link down below. If you can share or donate anything, I am so forever grateful. I appreciate all the wishes and prayers and good juju and whatever it is that you believe in, because I certainly need it. So thank you very much for that. Also, I wanted to let you know, so I decided to do this video, and I decided to record my journey and just kind of let everybody in and let everybody follow it, because for one, I'm young. You don't expect to get any kind of cancer when you're this young. So I thought, we need to spread the word. Like, women need to check yourselves. Men, you need to check yourselves because men get breast cancer too. And not just breast cancer, check your testicles. 3 days before I found out that I had cancer, my brother was diagnosed with testicular cancer. So check your testicles, check your breasts. do it monthly. Um, Also, I wanted to search YouTube and try and find stories that would maybe like real stories, not from doctors, but like from patients, through people who are going through this, and see what they had to say, what their experience is like. I was trying to find something that would maybe make my journey a little bit smoother, maybe help me ex- like be prepared for certain things. I couldn't find anything. Nothing. There I mean, people talked about, oh, tips for chemo, like that was okay, but everyone's chemo experience is going to be different. Um but I mean, I really could not find anything that talked about from the beginning to the end. So that's why I decided to do this video. Um I have, let's see, I have my list here. So the only doctor's appointment that I've had right now, beside like the MRI and the biopsy, the only doctor's appointment that I've had so far was just the oncology doctor's appointment, and that's where I met with the 3 doctors. Um, on Wednesday, I should have the other two biopsies, the one in my axilla for the lymph node, and then the other one on the right breast. So that will be on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, I'll have the PET scan to make sure that they're going to scan my whole body to make sure that nothing else lights up. Let's see here. I am going to have a Mediport put in, and that will be for easy access to do the chemo and to, to do labs, because I will be having labs done about once a week. And those are, I will have another appointment, but this is pending, so I'm not exactly sure when it is, but I will have another appointment right before my chemo, and that will be telling me how many sessions of chemo I'm going to have and what medications. So once I have those appointments, I think it's going to be like by maybe Monday of next week, so exactly 1 week from today. But once I have all those appointments and I know the meds, and I can kind of research the meds, then I'll do another video and I'll let you guys know, just kind of more of what's going to happen. And like I said, I'm going to document this journey from the very beginning to the very end. I have absolutely nothing to hide. I'm obviously not ashamed of anything. This isn't my fault. Um, but I do want this story to be shared. I think it's very, very important. Um, so thank you for watching, and thank you for your support. Bye.